Good morning and welcome to The Future is Now. I am your host, Pastor Christopher Riley, and excited to be back in the studio. We've been on a bit of a hiatus, but praise God, today we are back in the studio. And I'm so excited to have none other than our vivacious, but most of all, our anointed powerhouse woman of God, who's our co-host, Bishop Crystal Thomas. Bishop, greet everyone in podcast
God bless
land.
you, Pastor. And we have been away for a moment, so Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes.
This is going to be a year of refreshing, a year of increase. And as we navigate the wisdom of God, watch, see what God does. So I, like you, am excited about today. I'm excited about our program this morning. Our special guest, because I'm an educator, just really resonates with my heart. So, Pastor Chris, I am so glad to be sitting next to you, an anointed man of God that loves God's people and navigates life, just real life, like we do, so we can all relate.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Yes.
Bishop, not only is it good to see you, but it is good again to sit next to you, educator to educator.
How about that?
And not only are we educators, but we're also parents.
Yes.
And as educators, we feel like we raised the world.
Yes, Lord.
But then when it's time to take care of our own and educate our own, sometimes, every now and then, we miss it. And
For real, we miss it.
for real, we miss it.
Yes, yes.
We miss it. And we have trouble helping our babies make the connection.
Yes.
But today,
Today,
we're going to help everyone out there in podcast
yes, we
land.
are. We've got an answer.
We've got an answer.
Yes, Lord.
We have got an answer.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, indeed. So at this time, I would like for both of our special guests to introduce themselves to everyone in podcast land. And we're going to start with the lovely young lady.
Thanks. I'm Janet Howard. I'm a senior engagement manager with Junior Achievement of Northern Indiana.
And the gentleman.
Thank you. Gage Sandlin. I'm also a Junior Achievement. I am our development manager.
Okay. So you're both with Junior Achievement. And at Junior Achievement, we believe in possible. You know, the scripture says with God, all things are
That's right.
possible. So Junior Achievement, we believe in possible. Each day, we work to help young people discuss or discover what's possible in their lives. We do this by helping them connect what they learn in the classroom with school, what they learn in school with life outside the classroom. So when you hear that, I want each one of you to talk about what brought you to Junior Achievement and what it is that you do to help our young people connect the classroom to the outside world. And we'll again start with Janet.
Well, we really want to help our young people be able to succeed and be the the device of their own success. So we want them to be able to succeed in the real world when they get out of school. And I really believe in that mission because so many of our young people are not taught, or their parents don't have the knowledge to share things about workforce readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy is a big one.
Yes.
I learned the hard way, through the hard knocks of life about financial literacy. And so that's one of our pillars is to really go out there and teach children starting in pre-K about things that they need and want and the power of their choices that they have on their own destiny and their own success.
And your role as a senior volunteer engagement manager.
So my role changed this year. When I
wow.
started at JA, I've been there 20 years. I first started with our JA BizTown program. I was there in that program for 3 years, and then I moved to the education side. So for the last 17 years, I've been with education. And my role was working with teachers and schools and volunteers and playing match up in Allen County alone. We have almost 2,000 classrooms. And so we put together this big, giant, blank puzzle every year to match up schools and teachers and volunteers. And so that's what I was doing for the last 17 years. This year, my role changed a little bit where I get to go out and I get to do fun things like this. And I get to talk to people about how they can become involved and to encourage people to go out and volunteer and get their companies involved or their social groups or their churches involved with going in the classroom and helping our young people.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Mr. Gage.
Yeah. So I came here because I wanted a new job.
Okay.
No,
Are you from Fort Wayne?
I'm actually from Huntington.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
So
good.
I'm still learning
Okay,
Fort
good.
Wayne. Prior to coming to Junior Achievement, I knew the malls.
Okay.
Right. So pretty new to the area, but it's fun to be able
Good
to
landmarks.
Yes. Yes.
right.
Uh-huh.
But it's fun to be around, learn the city, and really dive into the community. Right. Like Janet was saying, it's nice to connect not only the community, the schools, its people, but as someone who wasn't exactly financially literate coming to this job, it's nice to learn myself.
Yes.
Right. So being able to pass down that excitement of education, that excitement of knowledge of there's more to do once you graduate from school, maybe graduate from university, whatever the case is. There's more to life than just sitting in a classroom. So if we can pass that knowledge and pass those traits down to the next generation, it's pretty fulfilling, pretty gratifying.
And your role as a senior development manager.
Yeah, so pretty new. I've been with Junior Achievement since July, so just about 7 months. My job is solely fundraising, connecting with people, connecting with our partners, peers, the community. A lot of what I'm doing right now is working with our leadership team. So Lena, for example, in getting a network going, right? What can I do for you so you can help us?
Yes.
We're currently working on learning about purses because our biggest event is Pursology this September. It's just a huge purse bingo event. So, Crystal, if you have any purse knowledge for me, I'm happy to take it after the show.
I was going to say, I have a wife
Yeah,
and
yeah.
daughter that
Yeah,
can help.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Louis Vuitton, yes.
So, yeah, anything purses. We're also doing some golf events
Okay.
over the summer. So, anything fundraising, anything connecting and networking, that's my avenue.
One of the things that people may not know in our community is like Junior Achievement in Northern Indiana. We're 27 counties, with Fort Wayne being our headquarters.
Okay.
A lot of different programs that we run, and so there's a lot of opportunity for people to be involved depending on what their interests are. But one of the things is a lot of people don't realize that the programs are a gift to the community from our business leaders and from personal gifts from area individuals that believe in the mission of JA. So in Allen County, there is no charge to the schools for the programs. And so that's why Gage's job is so important, so we can keep these
Humble me.
programs coming to the kids for free with the fundraising.
And I've had the opportunity to be on the other side of JA, the recipient of some of those services. And I just want all of our viewers to know just how important it is, especially the financial literacy piece. But I've watched things kind of evolve over the years, and I think there's a reason for that evolvement. And I think a part of it has been because our climate in education has shifted so much. And one of the things I would always hear from teachers, even back in the day, like in the late 90s or early 2000s, I'm a member of a sorority, and our sorority would volunteer, and we would take a day. They would usually take my school, since I was a principal, and they would always come, and they would really begin to work with the students. The kids love it. They are so excited about voting for mayor and getting all this financial information. And I'm sure the parents see the results of it as well when they bring things home because they do projects. But one of the things that I think has really impacted a lot of what we do in education, period, has been the high stakes test. And so when you think about, you see it, I can see it on your face.
Yeah.
So what I saw happen was, even from a teacher standpoint, it's like, well, do we have time for JA? Because we've got to get this in. We have to get this standard in. Because now not only are the tests high stakes, but also sanctions that come along with those high stakes. But JA came up with an answer, Pastor
Yes.
Chris, and it was called JA in a Day.
Wow.
So they were able to collapse somewhat. There were some, I'm sure, some pieces they had to omit, but be able to take a whole day and go to all the classrooms. So I want you to talk about that program.
Sure.
Because when we think about time and time in the classroom, it's just so important and so valuable now. It's just a high commodity. But because they came up with JA, and I don't know whose idea it was, but it was a great idea, and a way now where we could still do what we needed to do as far as state standards, even though there is alignment now. I'm not saying there is no alignment there, because there is, especially when it comes to math concepts. But talk to us about the JA in a Day program and just how I don't even know how it came to pass, but it was a brilliant idea.
It came about where we had some, one of our, Pat Morello, who is now, he was the lead here at GE when they were here in town. He kind of spearheaded it in our area. He's now
Okay.
works with JA with their 3DE program.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it came about, we did a couple of schools. We tested it out where the entire school has JA all at the same time.
Yes.
So every classroom has a volunteer. And we run from 8:30 to 1:30, and we actually don't leave anything out. It's still the full
yes,
program.
okay, uh-huh.
But instead of going once a week for a half hour, 45 minutes, now we can just do it all in one day. It's a big event. We do lunch for the teachers and
Yes.
volunteers. So we still have some schools do our weekly program. Some schools do J in a Day. It's whatever's going to fit best with that school culture. And it's super fun. You get to go in and you get to hang out with these kiddos for, about 3.5 hours when you're actually in the classroom leading programs. And so it's just one of the ways that we are able to do that. Let's just take a day. We'll do JA. And a lot of the things that they're learning through JA does help them with some of those
Absolutely.
tests that they're taking. And
Yes.
it gives them a fun way to experience it, because so much of our education now is online. Kids, we know kids really learn by doing hands on.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so we have games and we have puzzles and we have activities. Like in second grade, they make pizzas now instead of donuts. And so,
Wow.
paper pizza.
Yeah.
To learn about production. And so, it's really giving those kids, a fun way to learn about real adult concepts that they can
Yes.
put into practice as they get older. And each program builds upon the rest. And so they just keep learning more and more every year.
And what about that whole entrepreneurial spirit that I think JA fosters, so students know that they can start their own
Yes.
business, and many of them do.
We really start that out in our first grade program. They have, one of the lessons is learning about there's a need in their community, and what can we do to fulfill that need? And we start a pet watcher business for small pets, and the kids brainstorm on that. It's really guided.
Yes.
So, we're teaching economics at a very basic level at that age.
Exactly.
But then fourth grade, they're learning about regions and resources and, what they would do to start a business. But a couple of the other programs we have are summer camps. I know a lot of JA BizTown and JA BizTowns really are. Every fifth grader goes to JA
Yeah,
BizTown.
I want you to talk about BizTown. It
and-
is phenomenal.
It
And
is.
the kids run a city for the day. They actually apply for jobs. There's an election. Now, sometimes we elect the mayor and the DJ because those are coveted positions.
Yes,
Those are what the
yes.
two everybody wants.
Yes.
And then they do some curriculum at school, and then they actually come and run a city for the day. And so I go out and I talk to a lot of college kids. I go out and I talk to a lot of businesses. And JA BizTown has been around for a while now. And so people are actually out in the workforce now that have experienced it. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, what was your job? And they can tell me what their job was.
Yes.
So it's that hands-on learning that really speaks to kids. And not every child learns the same.
Right.
And I think in the classroom, everything's kind of geared toward being the same, where, I'll get teachers that I've heard them say, oh gosh, because when I was in Biztown working there, that, oh, these kids, I don't know, they might have a rough time. Have a rough time. But you know what? These are those kids that excel
They
because
do well. Yes.
they're not in that
yes.
typical classroom setting where they're supposed to sit still or pay attention.
And it's so engaging there too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you have to tell the kids it's time for you to go on break. But I got no, you have to go eat lunch.
Right.
And so they really, really get into that role play of whatever their job is, whether it's at the electric company or the mayor's office or their television producer or
and the newspaper.
they could create a newspaper.
Yes. Really cool.
And we have all kinds of businesses there, business to business models, business to consumer models. We have educational consumer models. Kids are testing wire. They're with all these different jobs because our sponsors come in and they set up what kind of business that they do, and then the kids actually do jobs that are kind of like what they do in the real world. So it's really cool. And then as they get older, they come to JA Finance Park, and we have an advanced and an entry level. Fortin Community Schools comes in 8th grade and I believe 10th grade. They changed it up a little bit this year. So they come twice, so they get the entry level and the advanced. So these kids are given an occupation, a salary, and how many people are in their family, and they have to do a budget for a month. And they can't leave anything out because they're like, I'm just not going to go.
Really
I'm not going to
good
eat
lesson.
out this month. I'm like,
Yes.
you're going to go to McDonald's and get a Coke.
Right. Yes.
You need to budget for that. And so, and the one thing about the entry level position is entry level program is the kids have to budget between certain percentages. So the lawyer and the fast food clerk have to budget the same percentages for housing or for transportation or for clothing, furniture. They have to buy something on credit. So it really gives them that experience of how, my goodness, look what my parents have to do.
Right.
And if their parents don't do it, it gives them a sensible way to think, oh, this is what we should be doing. And we encourage those kids to go home and talk to their parents about what they do.
You get the money for all this, don't you?
Yes.
Don't you get?
Not quite yet. We're getting there, but working on it.
Yeah. Another thing I thought about too was are some ways that parents even now can begin to teach financial literacy at home.
Right.
And if you have any ideas, I know I have my 5-year-old grandson, so when he talked about parenting, I'm grandparenting too.
Yes.
So, but he gets stickers. I have a piece of paper on the wall, and every time he does something that he's supposed to do, then he gets a sticker, whether it's school or home. But he knows that at the end of the week, that's like payday, and we have a certain money amount attached to each sticker. So it really kind of gives them the motivation to do the right thing through the week, hopefully, so that so we monetize those stickers. What can families do at home in a time when debt increases just on the rampage and inflation is everywhere, prices are high? So what can families do to kind of help communicate that message to help us stay within our budget?
Well, one of the things that families could do is they could go teach those JA programs to their children or grandchildren, or maybe they know a young person from church, or they know just the neighbor kid, if they don't have kids of their own. And they could go into the classroom and be that role model and that mentor for that group of students. And that's really important. We are encouraging anyone who is interested in volunteering to reach out to us, and we can talk you through the process, because honestly, if you can read and you like kids, you can volunteer. We provide everything for you. And so when I hear, we're a little person over at Lafayette Meadows, it's like, I need some volunteers over there, and we'll talk about your kids and where we can. So we're always looking for those people to come in. There's take home things that we send home with the kids, so that even in first grade, they can share things with their parents and what they learned. But there's a lot of resources out there. There's on our website, there's some resources for parents and students. It's jani.org, so Junior Achievement Northern Indiana.org. They can go learn about the programs we have. Maybe they have little kids at home, but they'd rather go hang out with high school students, because sometimes 5-year-olds can be scary, especially there's 25 of them at one time. So there's something for everybody really, and it's really easy. Or people could come if they wanted to volunteer at JA Finance Park to help guide these students through that budgeting process and help facilitate those days. Or they could be a volunteer for BizTown. Those two programs, we like for them to really be, especially BizTown, parent or school found volunteers. But some of our schools out there don't have a lot of parent involvement. And that's when we need community members to step up and help facilitate with these programs for those kiddos. Just like in our classroom programs that we have volunteers go facilitate. And so it's a lot of fun.
Earlier you mentioned 3DE.
Okay.
So I want you to talk about that collaboration with Fort Wayne Community Schools.
Absolutely. 3DE means three-dimensional education. And it was brought to our area. This is our first senior class that we're going to be graduating. Okay. So it started with Northside High School and Snyder High School in their freshman class. So the easiest way I can describe this is everybody knows Harry Potter, and they have the different houses. So the kids are divided into houses. Then within those houses, they have to do case studies. And so area businesses have come in and they have partnered with Junior Achievement and with the schools. And they're the freshman and sophomore year are case study years. So they do a few local case studies. They do a national case study. And then they are given a problem or something that the company would like solved.
Yes.
And these are real life things. These are not just some fluff things that we're going to appease for the sake of working together. But these kids have to learn, they have to learn the problem. They have to learn what they would like the outcome to be. They have to get together, and they take on different leadership roles within that group. But and then they have to present to the student body. And once that case challenge is over, guess what? They move on to their next one, but now they have a whole different set of case partners. So these kids are learning communication, collaboration, critical thinking, self-direction,
teamwork.
Collaboration, cultural agility, because they're learning to get along with people that aren't maybe don't look like them. And I'll tell you, some of these kids probably never would have talked to some of the people in their group had it just been in a standard school day. And what we're finding is that attendance is going up, grades are going up.
Wow.
Because the discipline issues are going down. There's still some.
Yes.
There's always going to be some. But, and then junior year is an entrepreneurship year. So the kids work in a group and they form a business. And some of these kids have legitimate businesses that they put together. I know there's a group from Northside that put together a lawn care business. They're still doing it.
Wow.
Wow.
They are, some of the kids do like social, like Bombas socks, buy one, get one, give one.
Okay.
Some of them do like social consciousness. Some of them do just pure, consumer type products. Some do just in all different spaces. So it's ever what those kids want to do. And then senior year, we have a senior consultancy. So Fort Community Schools is the only school system in the entire country that is fully embedded with 3DE.
Wow.
So all the other schools that do 3DE, they have a little school within a school.
Yes.
So when you do the school within a school, a lot of those, maybe there's 30 or 40 kids that participate. And so they go out and do internships. Well, we're bringing the business leaders to them again in their senior year because, when we have, if an average graduating class of 300 to 400 and times 5 schools, I don't know if there's that many actual placements we can put all of them. But it gives them an opportunity to work with those business leaders again. And some of these kids, they get it, and they're going to be ready, whether they decide to go to college, a trade or go right into the workforce, these kids that graduate the 3DE program, they're going to be ready to go into the workforce. They're going to know those communication, collaboration skills. They're going to be able to get along with people. Couple cool things. We had Arby's does a national challenge with us. Northside High School won 3 years ago, I believe, and Southside High School was in the top 4 last year. So we are really producing amazing things with our kiddos here in Fort Wayne.
That is
And
amazing.
you actually have a JA representative in the schools that have 3DE.
We have full-time staff people that work in each of the schools, along with our 3DE teachers that they collaborate with and help facilitate the day. Right now, we are working on a senior consultancy with Northside High School. Junior Achievement is, we're one of the businesses partnering with them.
Wow.
We want to form a 3DE alumni network to help these.
Ask about that.
Yeah, to help these students after they graduate. You know, what interests you? Do you
Yes.
want to, learn about mentorship? Do you want to learn
Yes.
about services that are out there that could help you in the future? So we're working with a class over at Northside, and Gage and I are both on different teams of students and working with them to see what they come up with. How are we going to advertise this to their cohorts to make them want to join?
I was just going to say the alumni network will definitely make Gage's job much easier.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
for sure.
In the 1 minute that we have left, I'd like for both of you to talk about the greatest lesson you've learned working at JA.
I'd say it's about the mission and the passion that our volunteers have, and that we have great volunteers. We're always looking for more. So I encourage our listeners and viewers to reach out and, how can I help? And it's just a phone call. You can always tell me no, because I'm going to always ask you, but you can always tell me no. And so it's just seeing how our programs have evolved and how we see some of these young people grow up and how successful they've become.
Awesome.
As someone who was once the next generation and am not far removed from being that topic of discussion, seeing the next generation come up and be a part of things and get that type of knowledge, invest in it. Invest in them, invest in what they're going to be able to do, because it can make a difference.
And if people want to invest in it, what are some of the options? What's available?
Like Janet said, get into a classroom.
Okay.
That's one of the most impactful things you can do with Junior Achievement is get into a classroom, whether it's your own child, your niece, nephew, your neighbor's kid. Get into a classroom. It can really make a difference.
But we'll take your money too.
Yeah, of course.
So, we're gonna take your money. So,
Yes, yes.
if you like to play golf, Gage has a couple big golf outings. We have that first bingo. Or if you've got $5 and you're like, you know what, I want to give $5 to JA, go on our website. There's a place to donate. And, $25 will sponsor a student. $500 will sponsor a classroom.
Wow.
Like $1,500 will sponsor a class to come to Biztown.
Yep.
And then one more real quick thing.
Go ahead.
We've got a couple summer camps. We have a JA Biztown summer camp and a JA
What ages?
Biztown is, I think, 4th through 6th.
Okay.
And we have an entrepreneurship camp, which I believe is 6th through 8th.
Okay.
You can check that on the website to make sure.
Okay.
And then if you have kids out there that are entrepreneurs, they're bakers, they make rubber band bracelets, they do 3D printing, whatever it is. In July we have a young entrepreneur marketplace, so students can come and they can get a booth. It's during the YNLI farmers market, and these kids set up and they can sell their service or goods or whatnot.
In fact, we have a student in our ministry that does that very thing.
Great.
Yes, and she does T-shirts and bracelets, a lot of little things. So, and she goes and sells them. So,
good.
Yes.
Awesome.
So we're benefactors. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Wow. You know what? The time is up.
What?
Yes, and we're going to have Gage and Janet back again to talk more about JA and the great work that's happening there. But Bishop, we want you to again greet everyone in podcast land and bid us farewell. We always remember that education is the key to success, for your future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And
Absolutely.
JA will appreciate this. An investment in your child's future
Yes,
today
yes, yes.
is a profitable gain tomorrow.
Yes, yes. I too would like to thank our guests, and just the enthusiasm that you bring to your work certainly comes across as well. And it's always a pleasure to be with you, Pastor
Yes.
Chris. But I want to say to all the families out there, especially the day and time in which we live, there's so many challenges that face our families. But hopefully, you've gotten a nugget of something you can do today from all of the testimonies that we just heard. Something you can do today to be able to look at money in your household as a resource, and how can we use that resource more effectively. So I want us to think about, it's a resource just like our time is a resource, our talents are resources. These are all resources that God expects us to steward effectively. So how now can we steward our resources effectively? And teaching our children is so important, because money has not yet grown on the trees in my yard.
Not at
So it's
all.
so important for them to realize that there is a cost, a labor cost, a time cost, a human cost that goes along with all the resources that you bring into your household. So make sure students are learning that, your children are learning that at a very, very young age. And one final thing I want to say, because of the time we live, be kind.
Yes.
Be kind. In a world when we can be any kind of person, I encourage you, show some love and be kind. God bless you today, and thank you so much for your time. Go in peace.